What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say, 17 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, Alberic de Bordelot debuted and took a dunk in Manan's waters there while taking out the remnants of the Moussillon faction. Sadly, no duel with the Red Duke as he was still wounded, but the faction was pretty badly beat up already, so perhaps that is unsurprising. Now, Mr. de Bordelot will actually have to probably spend the next 3 turns recuperating, as we're probably going to reset him while we head the rest of the armies down here, as might as well. He's wasting a lot of points right now, and obviously we don't want that. Otherwise, we have declared war on the Ironclaw orcs, and they do have a lot of territory. Even though we just took 3 or 4 territories from them, they still have 21 remaining, and are strength rank 8, so there's a distinct likelihood of getting a lot of armies coming our way from whichever direction. And on top of that, we've got the strength rank 16 Blessed Dread, and who we are at war with, mind you, and the strength rank 6 Cursed Troop right beside us. Frankly, a lot of very high strength rank factions very near us right now, and a lot of which we're going to be fighting. It doesn't look like the parts of Sartos are very strong, but it does look like since they're a major threat, they will most likely attack us rather soon. So we're probably going to have to send Raponce down there to deal with them. I hear she likes banishing undead, or giving them their true deaths. Anyway, to start the episode off, let's see what we've got. It is not quite a new turn, but there is certainly stuff to do. There is the attack on Heldegrad that we still have to get up to. And perhaps that's the one that we should start with. Alright, in that light then, we will take Mr. Louis de Mieux here, who was our Air Superiority Paladin, with his Blinding Majesty, and much as I like the buffs that he provides, we don't need 3 Paladins in the Fay Enchantress's army. Appropriate or not, it takes too many slots. Though I do like that. Anyway, you, I think, will no longer need the Pigeon Plucker pen. Well, you know what, hold on to it for now, but we'll give the Trickster's Helm to one of the new legendary lords. We will need another Superiority Paladin in one of the aerial armies, so there will be a use for you. Then we'll put the Green Knight into the Fay Enchantress's army, like so. Away we go. And by the looks of it, we can still reach Grognock Squigbeard. I like that name. What does Squigbeard mean in this particular contest? Did this particular orc make a beard of squigs, or what? It's like a beard of bees, but it's just a pile of squigs. And I am imagining that, and I think it's an absolutely glorious image. Unfortunately, fantasy orcs don't grow as big as the orcs of 40k, but I can certainly imagine a 40k war boss of sort of, well, maybe not the beast size, but it's pretty big. It's just a beard of squigs and named Squigbeard. Also a good name for a pirate orc, I suppose. But anyway, I lost my train of thought because I found that so hilarious. So now we're going to attack Grognock. Sorry, Grognock. And you, I believe, were not in... Oh, you could have... No, actually, you're just out of range by the looks of it. Oh, good. Oh, good. We got the Fay Enchantress, we've got the Garrison, which is actually pretty solid. We got an Arachnarok and a Savage Giant and some Black Orcs, so certainly something for the Enda's Nay and for the Knights of Knee to do. I can't believe we've only gotten a single banner of swiftness from the start of the campaign. We could really use a second one so that both of the ringers in this army have one. Well, hopefully eventually, as we are researching that plus 100 magic item drop chance, and I assume it applies to ancillaries. I'm not actually sure. Go. Alrighty, here we go. While I would like to potentially move the Fay Enchantress to other territories in terms of fighting perhaps the undead, let's face it, the orcs are probably still the bigger threat, at least for now, and well, we'll need a few actual armies to replace the Fay Enchantress and fighting GORBAD's faction, or at the very least, what remains of it. after we're done here. Anyway, we're going to have a little bit of a duel between lords and heroes here. Unfortunately, the goblin big bosses are on their chariots, which means they're getting absolutely demolished, with the Green Knight taking out one, and the Fay Enchantress and her paladin taking out the rest. Amalric has been keeping the second, or the Orc War Boss, rather busy this entire time, and now all four will attack him until they cut him down. Okay, Green Knight is unfortunately too fast and is running around, not contributing. Come on, there we go. And it looks like he comes in for the kill steal. But I suppose if it's the Green Knight taking it, I guess we'll just have to let it slide. Anyway, our lords and heroes have soundly defeated those of the enemies, and we will return now to our main stack and await the arrival of the enemy. Now, obviously, we could move the Knights or the Grail Guardians to, destroy pretty much his entire army, but we'll leave him back here and allow the enemy army to close while we, A, dish out some damage with our artillery, and B, get ready for some good old-fashioned melee infantry combat with our piles of Grail Pilgrims, or Grail Battle Pilgrims, and our Grail Relique, and our peasant mobs. I want to see the stats right now for a second. We got 89 melee attack on the Holy Wardens of La Maison Tall, thanks to, all the buffs and auras. 62 armor, solid, but could obviously use a little bit more armor. And 56 melee attack on the peasant mobs. It's not too bad either. I was wondering if for the Fay Enchantress we wanted to forego the 3 points in the red line that would give her peasant mobs an additional 6 melee defense. I still haven't decided on it. On the one hand, when your melee defense is relatively low, there may not be as much of a point in pushing it higher because you're going to have the enemy hitting you anyway. Regardless. I mean, going from 10 to 16 isn't going to make that much of a difference against most enemies. On the other hand, if we're at 26, that's a little bit better. But we may get more mileage in putting in those points into a more spell work and other buffs, so we gotta think about it. Anyway, the battle will start with us positioned nicely on the hill to fire off our artillery at the 2 units of Black Orcs here, who are going to be the main targets. And of course, they are milling around, i.e. trying to dodge the fire from our Blessed Field Trebuchets, which means they are going to take a long time to cross this battlefield and get to us. And it's certainly letting the Blessed Field Trebuchets actually put in some work, rather than having the entire army be a sort of a more mobile blob. I still haven't decided which I would prefer in this particular situation. Anyway, it's time to fight once again, and the Green Knight rides forth, this time to slay a big beastie, and the enemy Ragnarok is his target, and he does about 10% HP damage with every blow, hitting for 876. And powered up, of course, with the Harmonic Convergence. The Ragnarok shouldn't be a major threat to him because without magical damage, that's just plain not going to penetrate his ethereal nature. The other heroes are all going to go for the enemy Savage Giant and have brought it down to about 60% of its HP already. And we'll debuff both of the big beasties as well as whatever reinforcements come in with a nice Curse of the Midnight Wind. Over on the left flank and soon to be right flank as well, the Boar Boys, the faster elements of the enemy army, have arrived, and the Grail Guardians move to meet the Boar Boys, but also so do the mobs of peasants. Same thing over on the right flank, but our other unit of Grail Knights or Grail Guardians is a teensy bit busy right now, as it is trying to chase down a unit of Spider Riders, because we have to make sure that it is shattered or otherwise destroyed, elsewise it will simply come back and attack those now undefended catapults, trebuchets. Alright, it looks like the Boar Boys don't want to stay in melee combat for too long, which does make sense. The AI is pretty good about cycle charging that particular unit, so they're going to try to back off. Unfortunately for them, backing off into the trees, wherein your melee defense and your speed, I believe, get debuffed, is not such a good thing. So, yeah, you're just going to get more trapped by the piles of peasants there. The rest of the peasants are overwhelming the basic orcs. It looks like the Ragnarok has also fled from the wrath of the Green Knight, and the other units that are surrounding the Green Knight and the Fay Enchantress are probably also going to have a pretty bad time with this. Even though we are not using our offensive spells to destroy these guys, we have something much better, which is the Grail Guardians, which charge on through and quickly move to close the distance with one of the units of enemy archers. Then we could maybe wipe out a few of the enemy archers with a quick little dwellers below. There's certainly potential for it. Anyway, both the left flank and right flank, by the looks of it, are secure as the boar boys are defeated by the mobs of peasants, and those that are attempting to escape get ridden down by the Grail Guardians. The enemy's center line is, if not quite on the verge of collapse, at the very least closing in on it, and I want to point out that neither of the units of Black Orcs have yet reached our battle lines, as they have been under fire this entire time by the artillery. And I'm still kind of finding this behavior weird. It's not just the fact that it's unlikely, like when you have a sort of high-angle fire coming at you like this, you don't really know where to run to actually dodge it. You don't have that kind of perspective, bird's-eye view that the AI employs in terms of dodging that fire. The other thing is, these Black Orcs have not taken a crazy amount of damage by virtue of dodging it, but at the same time, they probably would have done better by actually trying to close the distance and getting into melee and fight. Oh wow, nice arrow on that one. And actually fighting rather than simply dodging. But at the same time, it does offer another way to sort of prevent enemy units from reaching your battle lines if you select a couple of critical targets and keep the artillery fire on them. Anyway, the Fay Enchantress quickly clears a couple of arrow boys out to the dwellers below. We run down the giant, delivering the final blow with, by the looks of it, the Fay Enchantress this time. He didn't know which way he'd like to die there, but I guess the first one was actually a collapse as he got staggered, and then the second one was the death animation. Anyway, with the deaths of all of these, the enemy army is done for pretty handily, I should say, and at the same time, everybody got to play. Love it. Alright, there we go. A rather solid fight. We didn't overly rely on the two units of Grail Knights, or Grail Guardians, though of course they still did well, but there's sort of an unintended or unintentional consequences of not having a mobile army in this particular case by virtue of having to protect the Farquads and the Holy Hand Grenade here, and that is the fact that we can sit back and allow the enemy army to come to us, and thusly allow both of these guys and the peasants to do work once everybody's there. I also really enjoyed the sort of dueling that we had as our heroes and lords took out theirs, with the Green Knight getting a solid 25k damage and actually beating the Fay Enchantress in terms of the damage dealt as gold value, because he was knocking these guys out, plus obviously the giants and the giant in Ragnarok, together with the help of the other paladins, whereas the Fay Enchantress got more damage, but that was by virtue of knocking out a couple of the error boys with her dwellers below. Anyway, really? 600 gold? I mean, if we didn't need the money, I would find that insulting. Although, I guess we could take the campaign movement range bonus. You know what, fine. It's insultingly low, therefore we'll do that. Holy Icon, I don't really care for it. I think last time we had one, we turned it into something better, and hopefully we can still do that. Louis, you... Wait. Yeah, you're not able to reach Hildegrad, unfortunately. Alright, fair enough. I then think that we'll send René Denio here. Louis Demia... You're one of our earliest paladins. We could actually, if we really wanted to, send you together with Gotrek and Felix somewhere. I'll think about it.
Pure of heart.
As to whether we want a prophetess or a knight lord, or even a crownless lord leading the caravan where Gotrek and Felix will eventually end up. Again, it's not the biggest of priorities right now, because, you know, we've had Gotrek and Felix do Gotrek and Felix stuff in many campaigns. Anyway, Blessings of Shelia, campaign movement range increase, and let's see, we got 2 points to apply. None Shall Pass is really nice, but we need a lot of points in this line in order to make use of it, and Renowned Hero is rather useless. I'm going to say we'll start with the bonus Lord Recruit rank and Hero Recruit rank, because it's universally useful. And then I'm going to say upkeep reduction for Lords and Heroes, which at this point, let's see, 100 short of 12 thou. Up to... Yeah, that's a fair bit. That 1 point gives us 3.3k gold per turn, and we've got more lords and heroes coming, so yeah, absolutely worth it. Also, you're about to get more XP anyway, because we're going to hit Hildegrad and, I guess, occupy it, since you guys can't do it. I guess we were going to occupy it anyway. You reached tier 5, right? Yes, we can take it at tier 4, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I'll resolve and occupy, like so. Lovely, and let's keep that pointage coming, you sir. Got another point. Control plus to all provinces. In the early game, I would have found this a lot more useful, and in fact, we did find it really useful back when we did it the first time. However, this time around, because we built brothels everywhere, which was part of my campaign promises, the control is now relatively stable in all of our territories, so probably good to get nightly tournaments and the additional unit XP, which a lot of armies are still very much in need of, frankly, even in Fay Enchantress's army. It's actually pretty much impossible to properly level the Grail relics because they can't get kills, and if they can't get kills, they can't really get XP. So even the ones that have been around with us for ages are not leveling very well at all. These guys are at rank 4, and these ones were around with us since turn like 5 or so, yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully they'll just level up over time with XP transferred and the occasional auto-resolve. And I wouldn't really care about that because we don't care about their stats, with the exception, or the only issue is, wait. I was about to say we'd want them at rank 7. Yeah, they do get additional physical resistance and armor out of this, and they do have a tendency to get targeted. So yeah, let's get Rally. All right, and we'll level up the rest of you later. All right, that was the Fay Enchantress. Franciscus Demir, you sir. You need to go after Corporal. Let's try this. La Tech Thief, go and try to block Corporal's army, and you can also steal tech while you're at it. From Gnawpit. Success and failure. Oh, that would have been really helpful because we can't reach you. I don't think this fella can take Vizaya though, so at the cost of a little bit of chivalry, we'll go into ambush stance. I say right here in our own territory. If he besieges Vizaya, we should be able to take him out reasonably easily. Do we have a spare lord that we could... well, not these guys, but we could grab you with the Virtue of Confidence, which is quite nice, and we would put you to use eventually. Plus, if we can get you to reach rank 10, that would be good. Actually, speaking of rank 10s, as soon as we have a little bit of spare change, we should start getting the occasional extra prophetess everywhere we can, because they pay for themselves using their traits. Yes. Also, just to double check, strategist is good, but I really want the tactician. It's a 1, and I didn't recruit it, and now I'm sad. Anyway, let's get you, Mr. Virtue of Confidence. Well, obviously, a caster would make the defense easier, but it's too late. You're on field now, buddy. Deal with it. Inspiring Presence in 2, since you're probably going to be fighting if they attack, or if they besiege and attack immediately. Let's go hard to hit. Let's go, I guess, Scarred Vet. Your charge bonus is already fine. I'm actually going to take Root Marcher because you might be needed to help chase things down. And then you sit there. Franciscus, let's level you up just in case they attack. Yeah, we got solid 3 points on Agath here. You have Guardian, which is also quite nice. Alright, fair enough. There's also Onslaught for when we're attacking. Guardian would allow us to eventually reach Enchanting Beauty, which gives us the weapon strength, and a soft spot for the small folk, which gives us physical resistance for the peasantry, and eventually into recovery, which would make these guys be able to sort of position themselves closer to the main line. So I'm going to do this. We will get the 1 point in Power Sab, however, just with the Winds of Magic increase. And then out of these, I'm going to say, gotta go with the Shield of Combat. HP is nice, and it does increase effective HP, but this is cooldown for more heal spam, and melee defense, which is, you know, good. Anyway, you. Gotta go with the Retinue Valet. Oh, right, we were saving for Healer, but we could still put all the points into this and still get enough for Healer. So Valet like so. And then this is at rank 15, so we'll have enough. Assuming we ignore Righteous Fear. No, we don't even have to. Assuming we ignore Light of the Lady. Actually, no, wait. Hey, no, this is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Save that point. Good. Who's next?
Coming was foretold.
Meline d'Outremont, you... they did besiege Khazad-el-Ghazand. Well, that's slightly irritating. but it is what it is. I would like you then to proceed closer to Grimhold and ignore Khazad Elgazand. Everybody else will follow along to continue leeching XP, but we will not aid the Wood Elves in attacking this because we want it for ourselves. I actually don't care that much about it, it's just that we have, you know, several settlements in this province already, so... Also, speaking of several settlements, go build the fields, please. Yes. Will you succeed at this? You did get damage, but you are healing, which is a little bit annoying. Plus, you're technically a legendary lord, which is somewhat also annoying in this particular situation. Anyway, you still tech. Failure? Come on. Thieving damsel. You have to live up to your name. Alright, anyway, who else do we have here? Inez, Verna don't need to move. Luan is already moved with Gotrek and Felix. Fleur of the Braid is fine. Maeve le Gardien, you are waiting. I was actually going to send you up this way. But in fact, maybe we return you to the hub. Since we're getting our new legendary lords in the hub anyway. Go this way. Whoa, 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 wait. 13.8. Okay. I thought for a second that she was making us lose way more gold, but it's okay. Yeah, we'll send you down to the hub and you guys down there as well. I think that makes more sense. Alrighty, then let's get on field both Theodric de Brigand and Hagen de Gisors. Oh, we have to do it one at a time. Well, actually, we don't. We can get one in Summer's Fall Fort. Yes. There we go. And obviously, you two will both go Inspiring Presence, and... yeah, start by channeling, we'll spread the word later. And then you can get Inspiring Presence. I'm not gonna spend those points yet, as yet. Oh, yes, I will put the point in Root Marcher, though. These guys are gonna get their own armies, like so. Then, Mr... Wait, did we already move you? Yeah, I've already moved the Beast Slayer. Alright, fine. Fair enough. These guys can't move for the turn, but there may be some recruiting to do. So, let's take a quick look here. Alicia the Saracen. First of all, I would like you to give to Rapunzel the men-at-arms with maces. Let's give her 2 Battle Pilgrims, 1 Grail Relic, as it feels appropriate. I'm gonna say start her off with... No, wait, these are supposed to go to an army to the south. Give her these for now. Obviously, we're recruiting more, and should we not have more maces available? Leonard, you have 2 maces. Up nothing. Alright, let's give them to Rapunzel for now. Alright, it's getting a little bit better. Obviously not quite there yet, but, yeah. These guys will get strong with Frenzy. Then...
What is your behest?
Jolene, you are going to grab the Royal Pegasus Knights, and though your army isn't ready in the sense that it still needs 1 more Friar with booze cravings and 2 more Damsels, or a Paladin if we want a knightly unit to buff these guys with the knight buffs. I will think about it as to what's better, because obviously this is the... Wait, not this. Knight, Blessing of the Lady, Knight's Duty. Wait, no, I was thinking Peasant's Duty. Melee attack +5. Oh, it's melee attack, not melee defense. Which is less valuable, so it's not as big of a deal, I'd think. Does everybody have the same Peasant's Duty? Yes, they do. Okay, fair enough. Alright, you guys are good. Then, Alicia the Saracen has enough space to recruit stuff, which means let's get... 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're 1 short. Well, that's a little bit annoying. These guys are supposed to evolve into stuff. I'd hate to spend any more time here, but I don't... Well, it's not critical that we have the Blessed Field Trebuchet, so I think we're better off canceling the Blessed Field Trebuchet, immediately building the Brigands, because it'll allow another one of our armies to move, and then just rebuilding the Blessed Field Trebuchet next turn. Yeah. And speaking of recruitment... Oh no, this is taking all of our money. But... Esme Dubois. Alright, so what I would like to do here is you switch to spread the word, and then grab... I don't know, whatever, just a bunch of units. I would like Esme to keep recruiting flyers, because this is going to be the Duke of Caravans' army, and, well, I wouldn't call them cheap, but where else? I want 4 regular Pegasus Knights with 4 Great Forest Eagles and a bunch of peasant mobs. Because if we're going to go really strong with like a Royal Hippogriff Knights and 2 Royal Pegasus Knights, and then 4 Pegasus Knights, it's a lot of really strong units. We'll have the weakest units together with them. It makes sense to me. So start with 4 Pegasus Knights. And you can't recruit these guys as yet, as you can't afford them, eh? Oh. Frankly, we could wait the turn and be ready to upgrade all of them at the same time, or recruit them all at the same time, right? Because we have enough space here to recruit them all. Yeah, alright, fine, just wait then. We have to wait for the additional set of eagles anyway. Oh, there's already a Pegasus Knight here, so there's one less. Oh, okay, fine, you know what? Then we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6. We still wouldn't have enough, damn it. Alright, screw it, I'm not getting more money. Let's spend it on buildings then. You can recruit after. Now, is there any buildings that we want to build that would be critical right now? Summer's... I think it's expensive stuff that isn't super critical. Oh, I did want another one of these things, but not necessarily here. I'm trying to build more of these in the mountains and less in the... Yeah, let's upgrade you. More of these in the mountains, and the Grave of Quila as well makes sense to me, because A, it makes money. These things do make money. And B, because well, these guys cleared it out, as in the Brigands, so it kind of feels appropriate to me. Erimo Hideout, this will give us more money, but we already have the Faces capacity, so that's fine. Silent Isle. Anything we can build here? Okay, well that's a question. You know, I'm gonna hold off on this one. I'm wondering whether we'll get more mileage out of building more Shrines of the Ladies and the extra slots here, or just making Bordelot a full-on money-making province, considering the sheer amount of money buildings that it has. The ports, as well, if we put in more tailors. There's certainly an option. Anyway, you will upgrade Brigand Base. Caravans, you're fine as you are for now. At the very least, we can't afford anything. We have stuff here in Heldegrad. Alright, so... I don't think we need the smithy here, but I'm also disinclined to immediately delete it. Let's build this infrastructure... Oh, not you. I was about to say, let's build this infrastructure stuff because it's technically free right now. So let's do that. You know what? If we need to rebuild the smithy, we'll rebuild the smithy. Although, you know, having a forward base here wouldn't be the worst idea in the world either. It's just that Morton's Home is a better location for it just because it's a 2-settlement province. Yeah. We'll leave the Carpenter's Workshop for now for the cost reduction adjacency, though. And I believe that's it. At least in terms of, you know, build this up just because it's free. And you know what, just build, even if we delete you later, build this just because it's free. For the time, actually, how long do we still have the right that makes it free? 5 more turns, so a decent amount of time. All right, now, let's keep moving. I don't think that was everybody. Jolene. Yes. Alrighty, so the only thing you were really waiting for was another friar and a couple more damsels, but... I think your army is certainly able to move as it currently is. The question is, where do we move you? Frankly, this theater is probably going to need the help more and faster. I am worried that Black Arcs are coming as well. I'm almost tempted to send one of the Faceless out as scouts.
Certainly.
And I lost Jolene. Okay, yeah, you know what, Jolene, I think we're going to send you around this way for now. Do you want to travel and spread the word stance? Actually, how much money are you making for us, out of curiosity? 14,075 versus...
is yours.
About 500 gold per turn, which is nice. As opposed to traveling... Oh, okay, for this turn you wouldn't be able to travel significantly farther anyway, so let's just move at your current pace and we'll get you the additional heroes that you need later on. And, the Royal Peg... I was about to say, we could level or give the Royal Pegasus Knights their Valor buffs, we don't yet have them. Aureolas Beaumont. Yes, you're heading northward to save King Lewin. And Leon the Bell is doing the same. These guys have already moved. Wait, so who has not moved? Leonard is waiting for more troop recruitment. You are waiting for the last troop, which is currently being recruited. Raponce, you are waiting for turn. Alberic, alright, I believe we are ready to reset you. So, let's reset you and bring you back, sir. Reset all skill points. Alright. And Camille Everstone, we're going to send you southward. like so. And I guess we'll bring Angeline Beringer to follow. Technically speaking, both of them will later on, you know, separate and the extra troops will be sent elsewhere. But for now, send them down here. I wonder, how will Corporal react? Will he go to El Quizaro? Will he attempt to attack Vizea? Or will he go somewhere else and go after Grouse or Azwara, which are more poorly defended? See how the AI reacts to the situation. Mariam Dutremere, you and this other army are going southward in order to join up here and deliver additional units to the hub for our legendary lords and their armies. And I forgot which one of you is supposed to command right now. Okay, so you we will want to reset most likely. So you go here, take Miriam's units, reset her, and then you act as the unit deliverer. Okay, I messed that up, but whatever. We'll do it next turn. Beaumont, you're waiting. The other Beaumont. La Femme Nikita, I believe you're a tech thief. Go to Mantreda. We need to keep an eye on where the enemies are. Who else do we have here? Melvin. Who's this? Critical fail. Oh, you're a rank 16. How did you fail a frickin' tech thievery at rank 16? Unbelievable. Okay, so you're fine. You're fine. You. Gautier d'Aquitaine, you are going this way. And I believe that's... Wait, no. Oh, there's more. Alright. Bianca Dufar, you are going this way. Yeah, go this way. Back to the hub. Matahari is another tech thief. Where are those Slanashi? Yeah, as soon as one of their armies shows up here.
What is your behest?
Okay, at least you succeeded. Oh, I can't believe that one got a critical failure. Anyway, what do we have here? Ismail Guardian, did that already go through you? Yeah, I think I did. And then I believe that's it. Alright, now we're ready to end the turn, assuming that there's no Diplo, but I'm too lazy to check it, so we will... Oh, you know what we didn't do? I'll do it next turn. Skip commandment available. You can go into Realm of Chivalry, and I would imagine that this territory will actually generate money fairly quickly, so let's do that. It is a tier 5 after all. Hero not moved, outpost available, damage building, and end the turn. Oh, one quick thing. I got like half a dozen comments over the last couple of episodes talking about getting the stuff up and running in Elftown, and Elftown this and Elftown that. We don't really care about Elftown anymore, folks. The fact is we've allied with Teclis now, and he has access to Phoenixes, Swordsmasters, Lothern Skycutters, Oceanids, Phoenix Guard, pretty much even Dragons, pretty much anything that we could want. So yeah, we're throwing our lot in with Teclis rather than with Elftown. It would probably take these guys way too long to develop anyway, since they're a minor settlement with barely any income and all that. And even if we had given the Murloc, then there would be border gore and it would bother me. Yeah. We could always attempt to give them Marienburg in full and trade them for Klesson, if these guys are still around back then, and see about the elves administrating Marienburg rather than the Imperials. But anyway, let's end the turn and see if we get attacked anywhere. I'm not entirely sure that that's a possibility, except here. End turn. And the other thing I was going to do is confederate a non-existing faction, as in a faction that had already been confederated, just to sort of mimic the technology that we would have researched. Because the confederation technology still would give us the buff/dilemma, even if we didn't actually confederate any existing faction. Payments for... We're going to give us a fair bit for that military alliance, and I don't necessarily mind. Fair bit, but honestly, I'm not sure that I'd take your money. You're in a very sort of precarious position there, Boris. Frankly, it's a testament to your capabilities here that you've survived this long against Skarbrand and Throg and, well, and Sarthoriel and Throt the Unclean and a smattering of other enemies. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to take your money. That's not for now. You keep on living, buddy. Plus, there are a few Kislevite units that I would possibly like to have in a few armies. And alright, so it looks like he's besieged Vizea. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to work out so well. I guess what we could also do is we could transfer units from Franciscus to this army in preparation for that lord to be eventually replaced by Albrecht de Bordelot, who will then immediately be ready to go. Or immediately-ish ready to go, because there's a few extra units that we need to build. But at the very least, the army would be effective. As in combat effective, rather than... What is this? Clan Ferric attacks Reichland. Yeah, sure, why not? I believe Clan Ferric is too far from us at this current time to matter. The Howlers will attack the Golden Order. I don't know who the Howlers are. Let's find out. These guys? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, they're going to be fighting Teclis as well. Well, actually, if Teclis wants to divert from the bloody hands, rather, that would be perhaps a decent thing. Also, we can help Teclis and the Golden Order out both, but... Actually, this reminds me. Citadel of Myrmidia doesn't have a landmark for us, but I think we can build the Archecclesiastium of Myrmidia in Magritte. Well, I see the landmark thing, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Enter war inside of ally. Is that an army, or is this just a part of the terrain? I think it's part of the terrain. Yeah, we'll have a landmark and iron and a port here. Certainly, we got places to be down here. Alright, looks like no attacks. Settlement besiege and what is this? Whoa, hello. Caravan Master will fulfill the Grail Vow. This is an interesting dilemma. On the one hand, we probably should... I mean, this calls them bandits, but we probably shouldn't attack High Elves. Even though it's such a rare enemy to fight. On the other hand, we've got dwarfs in our caravan. And on the third hand, we got the caravan... Nah, I gotta say we fulfilled the Grail Vow. It's tempting, but I gotta err on the side of not attacking the High Elves, as unusual and fun as that might be. The settlement besieged Vizaya faction destroyed the Ever-Living, which means the... I believe the Bone Rattlers were in war with them, which means they will be at war with nobody. Oh, frickin'... You have got to be kidding me. You piece of garbage, Talzin. I am so tempted to wipe you out for that. You're wondering why? It's because Sithrall, we were 1 point short of getting another Sister of the Thorn from them. And then, promptly now, we have no access to them, because they were the only faction other than Talzin and Kavarok that could build them. But with Kavarok, I don't believe we have enough... Actually, do we? Maybe we have enough with Kavarok as well. I gotta find out. 35. No, okay, so we will have enough of them... Not now, but soon. Or maybe now. Still annoyed about Sithrall. The frickin' Wood Elves confederating each other. Absolute garbage. Okay. Allied loses Allied Outpost lost. Yeah. What is this? Agriculturalist for the Fay Enchantress. She's the first one to pick that up. Leo Armistead has a chivalry reduction, but that kind of makes sense on one of the one of those lords ready for duty. I don't remember who you are. Armand Decaten and Tech one of the Tech Thieves. Oh, the 2 Tech Thieves that we got from the other factions are up. Eleanor of the Braid, Ocean Michaud, Folcard de Montfort, and this is the most important thing. Magic item drop chance from battle plus 100%. And there we go, he got his vow completed. Good for him. Technology. Next we're going farms. Income from farms growth. Obvious. Is obvious. New Tech Thieves. Specialist, Steel Tech. Specialist, Steel Tech. Alrighty, and then we have to send you places. Ooh, actually, before we do that, or before I forget, will you now trade Montlac?
The Umgi are desperate if they send this excuse for an envoy.
Dude, you're so close to taking a lance through the forehead. Anyway, or through the eye socket, whichever. Maybe that knight's aim is not good. What was I saying? Trade Bergenhafen for Montlac. 18. frickin' heck. Okay, that means we need to upgrade Bogenhof into the next tier. Which is gonna cost us an extra 3,000 gold. You are really annoying me. It'd be much easier to wipe you out than engage in all this silly diplomacy, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, tech thieves. Where's the closest place you can actually steal tech from? Well, the dwarfs are an option. I guess we could send you all the way down here. You got a long way to... Whoa! Hello. Hello. I have some concerns. Okay, so these guys are on the way. Okay, we have a lot of stuff. Okay, I don't want to think about all that yet. And... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I wonder if you can take this place. But we gotta deal with Corpable first. So, Franciscus. They will run.
Into the fray.
Doubtless. But I don't think they're running far enough. Franciscus could travel pretty far here. You piece of garbage. Why are you going this way? You go here. And you can reinforce Franciscus attack Corpable. Alright, let's try to get a little bit of XP. Do we fight this? I mean, they got Death Runners and stuff, and... I think we fight this. Why not? I need to divert my thinking from building and stuff for a minute.
Soon we will feast as scribes begin the tale of our glorious victory.
Alrighty, here we go. Our lord now has a hippogriff mount to lead his royal hippogriff knights into the fray. Not that I would expect we would need them all that much against the Skaven. Realistically, early to mid-game, Bretonnia is a terrible matchup for the poor Skaven since they have so many basically light infantry, and charges from even the most basic of knights like the Knights Errant will absolutely tear them to shreds. Even the Death Runners lose half of their HP from a knightly charge of the most basic knights available to us, so they're gonna have a bad time basically until late game. And admittedly, the Knights Errant can't stand still because, see, these guys paused for, like, I don't know, a second or two and quickly lost about 20% of their HP and 2 units to those Death Runners. Although possibly some damage from the Night Runners or Gutter Runners, whichever these are, with Shuriken as well. But at the same time, again, we do much more damage than they do regardless. We just can't stand still. And that's kind of what playing a faction that's cavalry-centric is all about. Either way, the enemy lord has now been taken out by our royal hippogriff knights and our lord, who has now peeled away and allowed his sort of command squad to finish off the enemy while moving towards that warlock engineer, who surprisingly, he has Scurry Away and Warplating. He does not have, well, Scurry Away isn't a spell, it's a passive, but anyway, he does not have Howling Warp Gale, which explains why he couldn't keep these guys still. Alright, well. It is also nice that, unlike Alberic and unlike all of the other legendary dukes that we will have, they have the color schemes of their own dukedoms, so it is appropriate that we have at least one hippogriff with the armor and color scheme and heraldry and whatnot of Carcassonne, which does look pretty good once again. And I'm not a big orange fan, generally speaking, but it's working with this particular sort of halved color scheme that the Bretonians tend to use. Anyway, the enemy lord is done, the enemy faction is done, or the enemy faction is not yet done, but the enemy army is, and we are free to... Okay, I don't think we need to chase them down here. Well, they're dead either way. Oh, actually, wait. We have a little Eshin sorcerer here. I just want to see this. So one hit takes about 30%, 40 or 60% of his HP, or is that a double hit? I couldn't quite tell. And then another hit. Yeah, it seems that he's delivering like 2 hits per attack. Look at, see? It was like it goes down by like 20 and then it goes by down like another 20 or something like that. Either way, roughly 3 or 6 hits and the enemy hero is done for. Rather quick. Alright, there we go. Still training up these Knights Errant, but doing so fairly effectively with a little bit of support from the Blessed Field Trebuchets, led by the Kitchen Sink here, who, well, thanks to their fairly large range and the lack of artillery in this particular enemy army, meant that They pretty much could fire the entire time. Still need to be rank 5 on these guys to upgrade them to Knights of the Realm, and it looks like out of these it's the Knights of the Round Table that gets the most. Actually, no, Night Shift gets the most, because, well, actually the Companions of Quenelle, but they're Regiment of Renown, so, you know. Anyway, we'll take the money, because once again we need it. And then we need to return to rat killing. So, Shield of Talos, I don't care for it, at least in this particular faction. So, let's grab the Shield of Talos, if I can find it in here. You, and Spell Shield, fuse it into, come on, Helmet Discord, Armor of Fortune, alright, decent. And we do need more armors. Don't have anything to make out of the Obsidian Trinket. We want to save the Opal Amulet either for another Damsel or for a Friar. Sword of Battle is fine, so we'll leave it. I don't think there's anything we can combine the Holy Icon with. Oh, actually, the Crown of Command. I don't care for the Holy Icon or the Crown of Command. Let's make it into, hopefully, another Trickster Shard. Nope. Oh, another Main of the Pure Breed. Actually, a very nice pickup. We have one on our Knightly Army, as in one on our All-Night Army. All night long. That would be a good title. Anyway, if I don't forget it. What do we have here? Yeah, you have the Main of your Pure Breed. Yes. Alrighty, and actually, speaking of you, sir, I want you... Oh, it costs some attrition, but we need to get to Castle Artois and then, you know, not have to deal with the frickin'... Got the name of the Warherd of the Shadow Gate. There we go. That took way longer than necessary. Yeah, go this way. Hopefully you don't get ambushed, but if it happens, it happens. Oh, actually, no, stop the edge of our territory. And though it's going to cost us, well, this unit is leading the pack here, so Knights of the Lion-Hearted. There we go. Does this make us immune to attrition, incidentally? It does. But I guess we wouldn't be able to do it in the enemy, in the Sigmarsheim territory anyway. And we have still Vampiric Corruption here. It is what it is. Go this way. Keep in mind that this army has no casters as yet. Mr. Gautier is still moving up there. If heroes weren't so ridiculously expensive, I would probably get a few more right now. But they are ridiculously expensive, I mean, so we just gotta deal with it. Also, the Regiments of Renown don't get the scrap upgrades, or the whatever they're called upgrades. You keep moving this way, sir. Maybe not in the attrition territory, because it's effectively at the edge of your range anyway. And you're still waiting for another Faceless with Cunning. You have to keep an eye on getting a capacity for them and getting a Cunning variant. Inspiring Presence and Rude Marcher, you're going to be a while leveling. You are what again? Tactician. Which is fine. But, I wanted another one for the melee army, but the extra speed will work for the addition for the range cavalry. So it makes sense. Missile cav, whatever. Alright, anyway. Fay Enchantress, back to you. Are you able to reach anybody? You can go directly to Kypris, which is another tier 5, and hey, it's GORBAD himself, isn't that cute? He's got, he's got a full WAAAGH. Huh. Interesting, wait a moment. Go here to Kypris, which has plenty of good stuff, and the one all this. Now we could attack Kypris and win it, no problem. Or we could besiege Kypris, move... Will they still attack us, I wonder, if we move René Daigneau to reinforce? I would hope so. There's no guarantee of it. It's a full stack plus the WAAAGH. You know what? I don't necessarily want to risk it. But on the other hand, these are peasants, so they shouldn't be super highly valued by the auto-resolve, right? Alright, go here. I'm hoping what'll happen is that, with everybody here, the enemy will be willing to fight a massive fight. That would be real nice. Fight a massive fight all night long. Anyway, I'll stop. Oh, that would also be a good name for a unit. Maybe one of the ones that fight the Slaneshi. Do we need to put you into any kind of stances? Probably could have gone with the encamp stance, but I'm not sure we would have gotten here in time. Oh, you actually need to channel. Let's do this while you're here, and then you can do the same. Let's also level Gotrek and Felix. You, Orc Slayer, for obvious reasons. Though the defenses, funnily enough, would be maybe a decent idea to transfer you over to that other army at this current time. Let's get Slippery. And I like the Vanguard deployment, but it's probably not going to be super helpful at this time. And let's get Beast Slayer. I mean, we're going to get all the Slayer types, but probably we'll want to grab Fate of Grimnir, but we can start saving points for it soon. Physical resistance at a zombie slayer is generically useful. Same with the missile block chance. Ah, fine, just get everything, whatever. Alright, what about you, sir? You want Retinue, Physician, obviously Potion of Healing. Grandmaster... I guess the enemy hero success chance is probably a good thing. Vanguard deployment and evasion for you. Retinue Physician for the army. Don't really care for laboratory in this particular army, so let's go Retinue Physician and Blade... Nah, let's go Retinue Punish Troops. What about you? You... are waiting because we don't know what kind of army you will have. I guess we could at least get you Mysticism. And you know what, let's get a couple points in Harmonic Convergence, though we already have the ability to cast it in the Fay Enchantress's army. I mean, why not? It couldn't hurt, right? Alrighty, so all y'all stay there. We'll see how this goes next turn. Bertrand the Brigand. How's that whole briganding going? And Gustavo, you're following Bertrand, aren't you? Alrighty, so you're going this way, I believe, because these guys have gone this way. And maybe clear out the orcs in the mountains of Grungzent, and who knows, maybe even turn on those dark elves. I feel like Bertrand moving to sort of free the slaves of the dark elves would also make sense. I guess we could also send him after Lokir, rather than the Corsairs of Spite, but we'll see. And you guys are at war with... Who are you at war with? You're at war with just Kuran. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, we should have sent an army up there. Alright, well, we'll see. So that's you. Bertrand the Brigand and Gustav. The Bowmen, you are going to temporarily, mind you, but temporarily transfer these guys to this army. It's going to make them a lot more expensive, but hopefully we can reach the hub reasonably quickly and then not have to deal with that. Gustav? Oh, right, you're gonna... Oh, that's why I was gonna transfer one of you to this army. Okay, wait, we'll deal with this in a second. Gustav, go here. And then take from Bowmen the units. You're now gonna be way more costly, while Bowmen, you are going to be reset. Because you're wasting a lot of skill points, and there's some good stuff there. So less peasantry? Yes. Alrighty. Reset all skill points. Good. Alright, you'll be on field... Huh, you can still move? Okay, good. Keep moving, you gotta get to the hub. Jolene, you're moving past the hub. I think you can march stance now. At cost, mind you, but we have enemies on the approach. Frankly, I don't know if you could survive their attacks, but we'll see. Also, while you're here, still take from the Valley of Windmills. I'm glad I decided to ultimately move Jolene now. We could also... Hey, another cunning friar. Okay, there's an army that I wanted to put you in. Damn me if I remember which one. And hey, another Virtue of the Ideal Paladin. Okay, wait, we can't... Damn it. the expense. Let me just see the damsels as well. Empathic, Sanctified, and Rejuvenator. Actually, Rejuvenator might be a decent option for this army. I was thinking we go all Heaven's Lore, since Heaven's we've been using the least in this army, though granted, it would be nice to have access to Life Lore as well. The thing about the Heaven's Lore, just like the Wizards of the Empire, all Heaven's Lore casters in SFO have the Blinded Contact effect, which is very strong. Melee defense and attack -15 to anybody on the front line is going to help the Battle Pilgrims out tremendously. Hence the idea. Anyway. We'll deal with that in a second, or all of this in a second. Franciscus, I guess you don't necessarily need to push on towards Alcazaro. The only issue is I wanted you to be the one to take the, to take Alberic's position, but somebody needs to move to Nopit as fast as, you know, Bretonnianly possible. So I guess you're going this way. You will still take at Alcazaro before going anywhere else. Gaspard Lebeau can't move because he might get ambushed, unfortunately. Therefore, you're going to sit here. Actually, no, you're going to sit just outside of it because this rat can't reach us anyway and get the additional XP via Spread the Word. You two need to land at Alcazaro and occupy it and get ready to essentially meet up with Franciscus. Maybe if you take this place and then we can meet up somewhere here and then get Alberic going. Slanashi giggle.
We have met before.
Yes. Knights Errant. Okay, so these are to be evolved.
Devotee of the Lady.
These are already evolved. I just gotta figure out which units want to stay as their current form and which units want to be evolved. Are you guys... Oh, so you're actually Knights Errant that got the 10 armor bonus. I could keep you in your current form if we really wanted to. I'll think about it. Anyway, you're gonna land at Alcazaro. That hasn't changed. And you're gonna help out at Alcazaro. And just to make sure that we take, hopefully, a little bit less damage. Hopefully you can actually land. You know what? I'm not risking it. Go into March Stance. And go here.
I see my path.
Like so. Then we'll have Camille auto-resolve, which will hopefully not kill too many of these peasants. And then get a Forbidden Rod. Nice. I don't know if it's for you, but it's for our life casters. You are a life caster with Generous Spirit. Yes. Okay, so you can hold on to that. I like it. Alright. Then I would like you to... Okay, no Scepter of Stability.
We have met before.
Turn that into something better. Student? Nice. I would like Camille to actually leave this location and then go into Spread the Word Stance, and then Angeline to go into Alcazaro, because this army is sort of a backup army with additional troops, and we don't want it to get ambushed by a random Skaven host. You have 1 turn remaining, meaning you have to try ad Nopit again.
Destroy it.
Damn it. Okay, that's unfortunate, but what can you do? Malien d'Outremer, you. Aha, so these guys have either lost or backed off, but ultimately it means that we get the free occupy of this place. It means we cannot occupy Grimhold, as these guys will take it, but it is what it is. Huh? Pyrrhic victory. Really? Oh, whatever. I don't think so, game, but sure. Go with your Pyrrhic victory. Huh, does Pyrrhic victory mean that these guys are likely to sally out? I would really prefer to take them in the field. Let's go Aura of the Lady here. We have Flock of Doom, which is important, but we need Engines of War. These guys are not yet ready to be upgraded to Pegasus Knights, but we're also recruiting Pegasus Knights at the same time, so that should be good. You, sir, are going with Light of the Lady into Healer, which we've been saving our points for. And then Damsel of Life for you. Do you have a Forbidden Rod? Yes, you do. Good. We could go for Onslaught, but we won't actually be attacking next turn. Maybe it's time we move towards soft spot for the small folk. Though, funnily enough, for an outranged army, this is pretty much useless. I mean, additional little bit of physical resistance could help in range shootouts a bit, but I feel like probably not as worth it. Let's go Magical Reserves, and... In all other armies, I like Shield of Thorns. In this one, we may want to at least have an emergency Flesh to Stone available, because if Cannot Die, because if these guys get hit by anything, charged by anything, then they're in trouble. Yeah. Alright, that I'm reasonably happy with. Next. Who's next? Alicia the Saracen, you... Okay, wait. Leo Armistead. Or Leo. You... Which army do... that would actually be good with the piles of battle pilgrims as well. You are waiting for several troops. I was going to transfer one of these guys to you. Though admittedly, I was also going to put a bunch of Ecochers into the army of... Oh, actually. Yeah, so many things. Folcar, who's loved by the people. He could use some of those guys. Especially since he's going to be on foot, and I think they'll match him. Then we'll go Legendary Lords at Summersfall and get Armand d'Aquitaine. Like so. Put you both into... Actually, no. Start you both in Channeling. You're all getting armies. Don't you worry. It'll take a couple of episodes.
I have seen your heart.
But we'll get there. Trust. Alright, like so. Then, Leo. You are going to first take the Wildwood Wardens. Then you are going to take 11 of these units, putting it to 18 out of 20. There we go. This is a full Vanguard deploying melee army, where melee and stalking army, or at least it will be once the Brigands evolve into Ecochers and Waylayers. I might just go for all Waylayers, depending, and they're going to work with the Wildwood Wardens and Wildwood Rangers. And thus function completely differently from the army of Bertrand the Brigand here. A little bit heavy on the melee, but I like a relatively decently, well, maybe not super fast moving, but fast enough for our purposes, army with all these melee units. And I decided to put the Perfected Twilight Helm and Perfected Twilight Horn into this army. I feel like it makes sense to me for, you know, combined with the use of the Wood Elf units. Anyway, while you are lacking casters, I do believe you're ready to go. We can't have friars because unfortunately they have no vanguard deployment unless there's a trait that gives them vanguard deployment, though I haven't seen one. Admittedly, cunning would be nice in your army just by virtue of the fact that it provides the ambush success chance, which would really be helpful here. However,
Your coming was foretold.
without vanguard deployment, they would not be able to keep up with the rest of the army. Unless I suppose they were fleet-footed, but then that, you know, you wouldn't be able to have that anyway. Ideally, we would want Damsels of Beasts. What do we have in terms of Damsels of Beasts here? Shrouded in Mist? Slippery is not technically bad. I've been using these for tech thieves because the enemy hero success chance, though. And Vigor Loss Reduction only for the Lord. Not big on these. Alright, you're gonna move. And since this, we're probably gonna need several armies to move in different directions here, and the dukes are not ready yet, I'm gonna say we're gonna move you as you are. What are your faces doing again? Confident with rabble rouse. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Alright. Leo, away you go. Go to Castle Carcassonne to save us a little bit of cash. Yeah, also before I forget, EU can have the immunity contact effects upgrade. Like so. Alright, and did I get you Root Marcher and Aspiring Presence? I did not, but we will get you that now. You will also have a +4 armor for the Brigand units. So +12 and then +15 weapon strength. Could maybe even get more faceless in here rather than casters and have no casters. Maybe no casters wanted to associate themselves with this particular army. I don't know. I mean, we played the entire Cornate campaign with no casters. It's not like you need casters. It's just, it just hurts to have mana and not use it. Anyway, Alicia Le Saracen. Okay, all of the dukes are going to need recruitment, but I'll deal with whatever it is we're recruiting between the episodes because I don't want to think about it right now. And we got other stuff to do. Leonie. Okay, you guys are going to get attacked in a major fight, hopefully.
We have met before.
Maeva Le Gardien, you are going this way. Go to the hub, get ready to deliver troops. I really want these guys to do so as well, and then you guys are supposed to go to the hub. So go to the hub, the additional friars, and you are cunning. Oh, the other cunning friar. Wait. Didn't we need another cunning friar in, I want to say, your army? Wait, no, actually, you're a ranged army, so we wouldn't need another one.
Of the realm.
Swear we did need another one. I'll try to figure it out. Wait. Maybe it's you. You do have a cunning friar, but you currently have no army. What's your trait? It's confidence, so reasonably universally useful, but better for melee than range. Anyway, you two go this way, and if we need to send you up there, we'll just send you up there. How about that? Alright, what else do we have? Leonard, you're waiting. I gotta deliver these brigand units as well. Rapunzel's is fine. Mariam, okay, you are not waiting. Okay, so
Devotee of the lady.
trade everything to you, and then move southward into Montfort. You have to go to the hub as well.
What is your behest?
You will go into, I believe, reset, because you have a decent trait. That was Margot. Actually, that was the other one in the list, but whatever. Theodric, okay, you're waiting for an army, don't you worry, buddy. Wait, did I get you guys? Yes, I did. Just wanted to make sure that I got them Inspiring Presence. What about you? I didn't do that for you. So then one of the other dukes, whoever I got, I believe it was Foucault. Yes. Do this. Gotta get them to their, you know, special lines. Alrighty, these guys are supposed to both recruit and travel southward. And, oh, you need more elves. Or eagles, rather. More elves. Alright, Talzin, 26 for an eagle. Do you have Sisters of Thorn available? You do not. So basically, we're stuck with only Cavarok with Sisters. Okay, so we just have to pray that they don't get confederated. Ugh, the number of Wood Elves is down. I hate it. So Modron. And the one that got confederated is one that we had a ton of allegiance with. Basically, Cavarok is the only one that we still have allegiance with, other than Arguelon. Alright, we'll have to spend the money to upgrade Arguelon's, upgrade their outpost then. Tremendously irritating. Anyway, Bowmen, Berenger, you're fine. Thieving Damsel. Okay, let's do the tech thievery. I'd really like to end the turn, regardless of the, oh, for the love of, regardless of the recruitment or non-recruitment. Let's move all the tech thieves. Alright, so I guess you're going this way. Yeah, one of you go into the Slaaneshi territories, one of you go into the vampiric territories. I want to keep an eye on the vampire coast, or, well, Sartosa, not really vampire coast per se, but for the purposes of the game. Bianca Dufaux, you're fine. Agnes Alvan, you're fine. And I believe that's it. Okay, so building real quick. We'll start with just doing the green stuff, which is still free for a couple of turns. This is expensive, because I do want to recruit those Pegasus Knights and get the flying army up and running as fast as ruinously possible. You, Shrine of the Lady, I think. Yes. Oh, last time I didn't build a Shrine of the Lady here because I was thinking we could generate more money by building a bunch of the tailors here instead and building Shrines of the Lady around everywhere else. Which is what we did in the Gulf of Pearls, and admittedly it is generating a lot of cash. I'll think about it, or continue thinking about it. You know, let's for now build this, just because it takes a long time to build, and then if we have to swap out to the other thing, then it'll be fine. At least it generates chivalry, which counteracts some of the, chivalry losses. Eastern Aranas. You will be using capacities, most likely, and I did say I like the Cutpurse camps in the mountains. We're gonna do that to counteract their existence. I guess we'll go for the Grail Shrine as well. Appuccini Mountains, yes to the marble for obvious reasons, yes to the free landed estate, and then obviously the Shrine of the Lady, followed by the Brigand base. Again, I mostly just want capacities for the Faceless, and you the same. What about you? Coaching in, and we are 7.4k. Oh, it's a red territory in Skaven Blight. Oh, alright, we built this while it was super cheap, and then that has since changed. Let's go for the fields. We still generate cash here, and then I guess go for the Shrine of the Lady. With this being a red territory, I don't really want to waste the money on anything else, even if there is capacity to be had. And there was nothing else in the Blighted Marshes, at the very least nothing important. Vifin, you are going for the Royal Stables here. Why? Because of capacity, so that hasn't changed. Now let's go for the free green stuff, and then follow that up with a tap room. Gotta get started on that brothel after all. Water wheel. Ports are now expensive, but we can hold off on building it until Alberic is back, which will counteract that by a fair bit. Cattle Ranch, Landed Estate, and Shrine of the Lady. Although, Sudan, Castle Sangas, I'll still build it. I mean, we'll have enough military hubs on this side of Bretonnia, so it shouldn't be super crazy necessary.
Your coming was foretold.
You're not going to be able to afford to recruit, but we have a lot of other armies that are being put together once everybody arrives at their relevant hubs, so I think it'll be okay. Or at the very least, it won't matter much. I mean, keep upgrading these, though. And getting the... You don't have the farm. And you do have the tap room. Therefore, we could go for capacity, but I think we won't have enough money for it right now, so we'll forego it. What about these places? We've got Vorburg... Oh, Bogenhafen... Have to leave you alone for now. Where is this? Growing Acree? Yes, you're going to the Shrine of the Lady. 2.9k for an upgrade? No, that's not worth it. And... Now this is 3k, which is very expensive, but because it has one of the cattle ranches, it's probably worth it. On the other hand, there could be armies anywhere here. Maybe Aswara is just a safer place. I hate to spend the 3k on it, but it is what it is. Alright, that's good. Now we just need to quick deal. Trade agreements. What do we have here? Cetra's Revenge. Oh, wow. There's a Tomb King faction all the way up in Hellworm Glacier? Huh. That's kind of neat. Monte Castello. No. You wiped out some Wood Elves, and frankly, we're probably going to wipe you out. Assuming that the Vamps don't do it for us. I'm tempted to trade with these guys, but... They're gonna get very upset if we wipe these guys out to get revenge. Although we can generate some money out of them and then cancel the agreements later, to be fair. And...
Spirits,
you know what? Let us trade with the Daughters of the Forest. I was going to avoid getting into too much of an alliance with them because of the Wood Elves not liking them due to the massive amounts of aversion. But at the same time, we could use the additional allegiance with them. We'll do the defensive alliance and no further. I mean... We do the military access. It's another alliance type. I'm just worried that these guys don't have any useful units for us, but they might. Wait. Yeah, they don't have allies either. You know what, do this, and take their money. And if we need to cancel our agreements with them because it's pissing off the Wood Elves, we will. Yes. I hope it won't, but, you know, needs must and all that. Remos, you're about to die. Therefore, we're actually free to do this and take all of your money because you will have no use for it in about a turn. We could even do Defensive Alliance if we really wanted to. I wonder how much money they'd give us for us. 2.7k. It's not a bad option right before they die, I think. Go for it. Watch the AI turn and not kill them. I mean, we've seen it happen many a time before, so it's a distinct possibility. Pavona will do the trade agreement, but we won't do any kind of alliances. Like so. Alright, that was the relevant stuff in the trade agreements. Non-aggression pacts, we're ignoring Zufbar and Bergerac for now. Exiles of Nehek, I believe, are not liked by Teclis right now, and thusly I think we'll prefer the High Elven units, so let's not piss them off. The rest of this is okay. Unless there are some Wood Elves that want to go into a military alliance, just Durthu. The only reason I'm not allying with Durthu is because I'm like 99% sure he's gonna attack Karakazor as soon as we do. So I think we're gonna have to hold off on that. Oh wow, Clanishan is down to 5 territories? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Did Schmidt's Renegades actually get wiped out? No, they're still kicking. They were at war with like everybody around here. Alright, well, fair enough. Now, the last thing. Are you in range of Guaniar from where you are? I can't tell. You're not, but the Slaneshi army might be. Though they are not technically at war with us right now. But I guess we'll have to find out next... Well, not next episode, but next turn, because we're gonna skip Outposts with... okay, no, we can't afford it. Well, I mean, we can, but I don't want to spend the money. Skip, and... Can we upgrade the Outpost to Durthu, or do we need the military alliance? Yeah, we need the military alliance in order to get access to his other units. Damn it. We're gonna be forced into it. And he does have some stuff that we want, and he does have some allegiance. Admittedly, being more warlike would also reduce the allegiance costs from him. I'll think about it anyway. It's turn. We have at least 2 potential sallying outs from Ironclaw works both times, but it's the big fight that I'm really looking forward to. I don't really care about the Malene Dutermav fight nearly as much. Although it is an army that we've only used a couple of times so far, but just by virtue of having to park her in the mountains there to defend it. Military alliance. We will most likely eventually do this, but, you know, try to reclaim your lost territories. Oh, that reminds me, there is still that ogre camp in the center of the Empire. Gotta pick a random lord and send them up there just to try to pick up the, well, ogre mercenaries. Again, I'm hoping that it's a leveled ogre camp and it's not just like nothing. So that we can pick up some good stuff, and yes, GORBAD, Iron Claw, yes. 3.5 stacks, beautiful. I am very happy to see this. This is gonna be a very nice fight. What level is he? 21, it's not bad, but nothing crazy. He does have scrap upgrades on everybody, and appropriately, he's got the reload time and armor-piercing missile damage on the Orc Air Boys and the padded shields on the Orc Boys, which is quite nice. Grave Wound on the Orc Biggins, and yeah, it's a lot of upgrades there. And then, of course, the Settlement Garrison was quite nice. More Biggins and Black Orcs, and we got a WAAAGH and more stuff. Should be fun. Go. Alrighty, here we go to battle indeed. Oh, here we will meet on the battlefield WAAAGH GORBAD, which 800 years prior to this timeline wiped out the imperial province of Solent and took it off the map, essentially. So, I guess that we might be a little bit late to the party, although the enemy, or the Empire, does still have most of its provinces that aren't, you know, crawling with undead intact. So yeah, we'll stop GORBAD before he can do too much damage. And they should damn well be grateful. Anyway, churls though they may be, we've got one thing that we want to do here. I would like the battles to actually be a proper fight, as in we're not going to send in our knights, though admittedly, in this particular fight, we have a giant reinforcing pile of peasants to reinforce our giant pile of peasants, and we have a total of 3 knightly units. 2 Grail Guardians and 1 Knights Errant. The thing that I would like to do here is kill this Orc Shaman rather than anything else. We're not even going to try to kill the enemy artillery or stop them from firing because I want the giant pile of enemies to engage with our giant pile of units. I just want to make sure that the enemy caster is dead. It's not so much because I care about it casting. I'd be perfectly happy with it, casting the occasional, brain burster or whatever. The unfortunate thing is it was sitting back here and casting Gaze of Mork on our artillery pieces. So either we kill it or we let it kill our artillery because it would just be spamming that spell from this side of the map. And whereas we could very well be easily spamming Dwellers Below and crippling the enemy army, we're not going to do that because we want our units to fight. Or at the very least, we're not going to do that to these milling around units here. Ooh, it does look like the enemy artillery does want a little bit of a shootout here as it moves one of its units of goblin bolt throwers forward. Unfortunately for them, these things aren't very effective. Even dwarfen bolt throwers aren't that effective. Although obviously much better in SFO. And these things, whether they be firing on our artillery pieces or upon our Grail Guardians, will be long dead before they can achieve all that much, just due to their lack of damage and our relative resistances. Anyway, we have taken out the enemy shaman, which has actually fled the battlefield, and are now free to back off, though there was an enemy lord out here, so maybe we'll quickly stop on by and kill off the enemy lord before returning to our own battle lines. And speaking of reinforcements, our own reinforcements have arrived on the battlefield as well, and Renee brings with her some peasant bowmen. So now we have a little bit of additional range to add to the, And some of the peasants have, it feels like, a lot more armor, and some of them will have way more fancy and expensive stuff than some of the others, interestingly. But in the same sort of mob. Not that it's important. Anyway, looks like the enemy artillery piece is done for, and we have closed the distance with the enemy lord, though the enemy does immediately rush us with boar boys, unfortunately, where the knights seem to be able to get away reasonably quick. Do they have more mass than the Fay Enchantress? Yeah, a little bit more by the looks of it. Ah, oh. Okay, well, the Green Knight has plenty. Wow, 3.3k. And I think we don't even have the tech that gives him another, I want to say 50% mass? Huh. And I think in SFO, defeating Tamarkan gives your army more mass as well. If only he wasn't so dang far away from us. I would just be entertained by pushing the Green Knight to like 10,000 mass or something along those lines, and just seeing what he can do. I may not like using Scarbrand as a chariot because I feel like it's not his intended gameplay, with him not actually ever getting to swing an axe. I just find that silly. But I'd be perfectly willing to see the Green Knight charge through a blob of units like a chariot if he could have enough mass to do it. Anyway, we've got a little bit of time before the battle is well and properly joined. And of course we do have to wait, so we want to send our reinforcements forward. Gotrek and Felix attempt to close with the Goblin Big Boss and do a little bit of damage to him, who basically runs away pretty much immediately, while the knights that we have, or 2 of the 3 knights that we have, quickly tear through this poor unit of war boys. And there we go. These guys really shouldn't have gone so dang far from the rest of the enemy army. And speaking of the enemy army, they are now on the approach. Plenty of enemy range units, including some tactical boys in there somewhere, which are actually pretty darn solid in melee with their 57 melee attack, so we do have to be wary of them. And on top of that, of course, we still have like another stack and a half, all told, getting ready to move on to the battlefield. Looks like we finally managed to kill the Lord and actually sent a Boar Boy unit and a Snotling Pump Wagons fleeing in terror from our single entities here. And we even move the Endesnay over to that side of the map just because I figure we may want to chase down some of those boar boys rather than letting them flee off the battlefield. Otherwise, we just have to fight them again. Anyway. Oh, so the guy with the banner just stands there. He doesn't actually have a bow. Huh. I wonder, does this then count as 79, or 139 units with bows, and then... Or is this guy an extra spawned unit? I don't know. I'm way too lazy to actually count them. But anyway, the battle begins. The Orc Era boys move in to start plinking away at our peasant mobs. As well, of course, as our units of battle pilgrims. So, because they don't have a lot of armor-piercing weapon damage on them, we go for the Vissen's Wild Form armor buff. It's not all that much, and Pan's Impenetrable Pelt would probably be better in this particular case, but that particular prophetess doesn't yet have it. Anyway, peasants versus orc mobs will be the order of the day. The enemy artillery fire from the goblin rock lobbers that we did let live coming down upon our lines, and our range units exchanging fire as well. GORBAD, in the meantime, has been found by Gotrek and Felix, who have done about 60-70% of his HP in damage, but it looks like GORBAD has called Gobos in to try to aid him. A little bit too late, perhaps, however, as Gotrek has nearly cast him down, while Felix takes care of the odd errant Gobbo. Which again seems lawfully appropriate here. Alrighty, and GORBAD is, well, still fighting, but shaken, and probably not for much longer. And we will most likely have to bag Gotrek and Felix off into the lines of peasants. There we go, love seeing all of those fireworks, the pox arrows, the fire arrows, and the field trebuchets all firing at the same time. And it looks like our field trebs have at this point taken care of a decent amount of the enemy range units. Well, with the help of our own range. Our unit of Grail Knights, Grail Guardians, whatever, has at this point peeled away and decided to take out those rock lobbers as well. It's about time. We let them fire for a decent amount, and now it's time for them to go. And obviously we could just charge our Grail Guardians through this entire battle line. We've done it many a time over the course of this particular campaign, but I'm enjoying letting these guys actually fight. Feels like a more proper battle without the knights doing everything and then winning quickly. And hello, what is this? Oh, it's a buff spell, okay. There's a soulfire. Well, actually, it's technically a damaging spell rather than a buff spell, but anyway. I saw the targeting rune, I was like, I don't remember using anything, but because it wasn't a, well, it wasn't a spell, though, again, argument to be made about the lore of the, well, I guess it's calling it the lore of the lady here in this particular case as to what the friars are doing, but, well, there's some arguments to be made there as well. But anyway, the Night Goblin Big Boss has closed the distance with the Peasant of Bowmen of the Pox Arrows, and I mean, it wouldn't really be the lore of the lady, because that's what the prophetesses are technically doing. And technically, aren't prophetesses supposed to be a sort of dual wind caster? I want to say, yeah, but no. It would be beasts and life, perhaps? They're sort of like an... life is definitely one of them. But anyway, not important. What I was talking about was the lore of the lady, not in the sense of the actual casters like the damsels, but in the same way that the warrior priests of Sigmar would be using the lore of Sigmar, quote unquote, even though they're not technically casters. I mean, if they're drawing on the realm of souls and on the winds of magic, yeah, you know. And obviously same for the sort of lore of Cain, which frankly edges a lot closer to spells, even if when it's used by like assassins and stuff like that. But anyway, the battle yet continues, but not for much longer, as the bounce bout has shifted to about 70%, maybe even 75% in our favor. Of course, the reinforcements do keep making their way onto the battlefield, including a lot of Biggins and Black Orcs here. As usual, or similar to the previous battle that we fought, we are firing away at the enemy Black Orcs with our artillery pieces. and to do as much damage as we can. Our spearmen-at-arms from our reinforcing army, together with some men-at-arms with polearms, did close with the Black Orcs as well, but got torn to shreds without doing any damage at all to these 2 units of Black Orcs, which, again, completely unsurprising, but we certainly don't want to stick around for them to be cut down for no purpose, so we'll back them off. And I think they should run a little bit faster than the Black Orcs as well, because, well, they don't have, like, a ton of armor to carry around. Hey, they're lucky even padded armor isn't forbidden, but anyway. What's important is that these are the last of the reinforcements making their way onto the battlefield. Of course, our knights are very busy now, trying to make sure that they destroy every single possible unit that they can, rather than helping out with the actual fight. Otherwise, we just have to keep on trying to fight those units that aren't destroyed next turn. Some knight gobos have closed the distance, and most likely, thanks to their spinning loons, will be quickly dishing out plenty of damage to this poor little peasant mob, who drops below half of its HP. But hey, they're holding them back, all the while the pox arrows and fire arrows continue to come down upon them. Ooh, even some Black Orcs have peeled away from the mob of peasants holding them back, about to close with some battle pilgrims, some of which get knocked down by the blessed field trebuchets, but this also keeps the Black Orcs pinned in place for arrow and trebuchet fire. And the Battle Pilgrim should be able to tear them to shreds, even though the Tartan army here has now moved away from the buffing auras of the heroes, like the Friar and the Paladin, and thus its stats are significantly lower than they once were. Oh, and I think also moved away from the Grail Relic, which they don't want to be too far from. Ooh, Black Orcs exploding into bits as the trebuchet chunks, or the masonry chunks, come down upon them. It's not a half HP for one of them, but the other one is pretty much done for. And the Fay Enchantress has arrived in the front line here to help where the fight is most desperate for her battle pilgrims. The Holy Wardens of La Maison Tal surround the Fay Enchantress, acting as her bodyguard. Not that I think she'd need them against a single unit of the Black Orcs, though they can obviously surround and dish out plenty of damage. If she really felt like it, she could just dwellers below them all to death instantly. I just like to see our units fight, and I think in this particular battle, this is proving well worth it, as we're getting a pretty great fight here. Looks like the battle, however, is very nearly ours, as no more reinforcements are coming in. Our range units are still firing away, though our blessed field trebuchets, this is the first time in the entire campaign where they have completely run out of ammunition, or will do so very shortly, and frankly, even the peasant bows that are supporting are quickly running out of ammunition as well. Admittedly, some of the archers in Bertrand's army have run out of ammunition in the past, but that should be perhaps a little bit less surprising. We can also potentially get Shadow Warriors from Teclis if we really wanted to. Although I feel like I'd prefer to use the Wood Elf units, maybe. If we want archers with our own units. I mean, we can't build the Gate Guard, I believe, so no buffing range units, unfortunately. It would be nice to get Gate Guard. Technically, they're Sisters of Avalorn. Which actually... Avalornian units might be a little bit more Wood Elf adjacent. Some degree, and thusly maybe a little bit more interspersible into our armies in theory. But, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll have a lot more allegiance with the Wood Elves than we do with the High Elves. Anyway, our knights continue to charge, and looks like the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, with their armor at only 68 now, thanks to them being tired. And just took a volley from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemy units of range. And they are moving very slow. This doesn't look like 80 speed. I guess they were trying to get uphill. Oh, and rushing through Night Goblin archers with those spinning loons is also not such a good idea. Heck, they can even damage the Grail Knights, even though they don't seem to have been able to actually kill one. And it looks like some War Boys moved to their rescue, but it's not going to help them out all that much either. There is still one last Lord, I believe, remaining on the battlefield. The Black Orc Big Boss, currently surrounded by a pile of peasants. Another spinning loon moved through them. But I do believe either Gotrek and Felix, or one of them at least, is here. Well, I see Felix at the very least. And are trying to make their way through the wounded units towards that last boss on field. And we could send the Green Knight and co, but they're all busy fighting elsewhere, just like our entire army. as it has been a very distributed battle and we're fighting all over the place, but are now trying to close the distance with the sort of final units remaining. Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis are attempting to back off. Looks like we've surrounded a unit of Orc Biggins here. Or maybe surrounded isn't quite the right word, but certainly rushed them and destroyed them. And now, with only the enemy range units remaining and no melee units left on the field to protect them, same said range units shatter, giving the battle to us. There we go. Severe damage on some of our peasantry, but, well, that's about to be expected. And the fact I think that we won this particular battle with only 3 knightly units to rely upon with all of those charges of theirs is pretty darn good. Very, very happy with this, and I think this battle alone made it worth it to come down here rather than immediately peel away to hunt down the Mask of Slaanesh. Anyway. Oh, alrighty, there we go. 800 years late, perhaps, but GORBAD at last gets taken out, and a absolutely glorious battle where everybody got to play. Certainly, our knights with the Endesne actually outdoing the Knights of Ni, and despite not having that banner of swiftness, I think we should swap it between the two on occasion. About 33k damage on both of the Holy Hand Grenade and the Farquads there, very, very nice. Obviously, the Holy Wardens of the Maison getting a solid 22k, but the Morgiana's Merry Men keeping up with getting a similar amount of damage. Good for them. Peasant mob-wise, at 14k damage, the silenced masses let their weapons do the talking, and Les Miserables once again making everybody else miserable by their presence and by their pitchforks. Morgiana, 140,000 damage, 750 kills, and 6,500 damage dealt as gold value. Extremely solid. Green Knight, 30k damage and 3,000 damage gold value. Sort of riding around, going after important targets. Solid work out of the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, rather, with their 431 kills and 52k damage. Gotrek and Felix were able to defeat, well, mostly Gotrek, but yeah, able to defeat GORBAD and then do some work against a few of the other single entities and some of our reinforcing units, and got to do plenty of work as well. And we can clearly see the damage on the peasant bowmen, for example. Lots of lightly armored targets for them in GORBAD's WAAAGH. And we got a Lichbone Pennant out of it. Very nice. We will take the additional cash as well. I imagine that the other little army will will not sally out. Cowards. Well, it is what it is. And... Avril Dragondram. I genuinely have no idea who you are. Where were you to get Oh, was this the one that I was going to have occupy that one settlement and then... Well, you're dead. I don't think you're escaping Mr. Warherd of the Shadowgave here, but... well, unfortunate for you, but we don't really care about you, which is why we sent you off to... You managed to kill 1 Gore. 1. You're a caster. That's just... whatever. Not that I was expecting you to kill any of them, but still. Oh, you have a talisman of preservation. I'd like to steal that. Anyway, now we know where he is, and yes, that was indeed the lord we sent to occupy Martel, but there are armies nearby. Oh, the map got flipped. In fact, well, you showed yourself right beside Riolas here. Seems like a bad idea. Alrighty, I think Durthu, regardless of the fact that this is probably a terrible idea, and the fact that you're a maniac, we're gonna do the military alliance, because now we're running out of wood elves because they're all getting confederated for absolutely no reason, and thusly we need access to Durthu's units, because Durthu is unlikely to get confederated. At least relatively unlikely, let's say. Alright. It is what it is. And if he forces us into a war with the dwarves, he forces us into a war with the dwarves. What are you gonna do? And just hope he doesn't force us into a war with the frickin' Empire. Continental Exarchate, you want a military alliance? Not really any need for it right now.
short lifers.
And what do we
It is
have here?
always a
Volmir von
pleasure to hear
Rokov,
from
you,
little scenes.
okay, I thought he didn't like us for some reason, but no. It was the sort of little red icon of the magical forest right there that threw me a little bit. No military alliance, we already have defensive. Alright, and I believe... Cold to the Pious, Southern Realms... No military alliance.
Greetings. Who
Okay.
seeks?
Stop it. And hey, Ernest Allspite did indeed wipe out that little faction, but she's not our problem right now. And again, frankly, with that one faction having wiped out one of those Wood Elf factions, I'm perfectly happy to let them go. What is this? This is our Wood Elf army, and it's a greenskin stack with some good stuff. Black Orcs, we got some River Trolls, a couple of Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins, which I actually would wager would win against the Knights of the Realm. I'd love to fight this. The only problem here is that while I do want to fight this, we don't have time to fight it this episode, so we will draw weapons, and we will prepare to start next episode with this particular fight at the start, just because I'm inclined to see more of those Wood Elf units in action, together with the, High Elf units and our units. And we're actually getting some veterancy on some of these guys as well, which is nice. Just got to... Oh! Huh. I noticed the Deepwood Scouts in this particular army, 7,000 HP. Is that SFO value? Or is that vanilla value? It seems pretty low for SFO, but at the same time, these guys being fairly fragile. 30 missile strength. That also seems somewhat low. But they've actually done fairly good work in previous battles, so it may still be... I mean, they do have the Gifts of the Forest and stuff. I'm not sure. Again, this I know is vanilla value. Or, I don't even know if it's vanilla value exactly, but I do know it's not SFO value, which is higher. So the Bretonnian units in the Caravans need to be replaced because of an issue with the submod, but the rest of the Caravan is still functioning just fine. But anyway, I digress. What matters is that I'm calling the episode here because this one went really, really long because I really wanted to fight that WAAAGH GORBAD, and we'll start the next episode off against WAAAGH next time, as well as keep building our stuff and get prepared to defend against the Dark Elves and the Slaaneshi. So stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave those likes in the comments below, as they will determine how long this campaign continues to run for. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.